Yes, I would tune my Q50 all over again if I had to do. There comes a time in every Q50 owner's life when they need to find out if they should tune it or not. This is my 2017 Infiniti Q50 3.0T, tuned by Racebox. If you want to take a look at what I've done, you can go ahead and look at all my other videos in the past, but I'm just showing you guys real quick what the car looks like right now. If you can't tell, I just washed it. Hadn't washed it in a while, but fully cleaned, and I just topped it off with E30. Life is good right now. Alright, but that's enough talking. Let me talk to you guys and see if you should tune your 3.0T. Alright, so I bought my Q50 in October of 2020. So it was right before COVID happened, and it was my first car that I ever bought. The other one that I had was a 2005 Nissan Maxima. So I was familiar already with the Infiniti and Nissan platforms. At first, I didn't even like the Q50, which is kind of funny. But I ended up, giving it a shot. I saw the potential. I saw other builds online and stock. The Q50 doesn't really have great looks, especially the base bumper. I mean, I hate that bumper, to be honest with you. So when I bought the car, I already had in mind the vision of what the car was going to look like. I saw the potential and everything. And when I started doing some research, I actually figured out that I got blessed, because the 3.0 models, even though they are a little bit less reliable than the 3.7, which is almost bulletproof, the 3.0 models and the turbos obviously give you a lot of power, especially if you have the VR30 model. If you have any of the other models, I'm not too sure. I mean, on my channel, the only thing that I really know about is the Q50 3.0T, the Q60 3.0T, pretty much anything with a VR30 in it. But yeah, let me talk to you guys real quick. Yeah, so I bought the car in October 9th, 2020. It was right before COVID happened, all that stuff. So it was a good time to buy. I bought the car for actually 26,000 out the door, and after taxes and everything, it was closer to 30, maybe like 28, 29,000. And so yes, I am still paying it off. However, I have only a little bit left on it, and if I didn't do any of these mods, I would have already paid the car off. However, I planned on keeping it for a while, so I was like, doesn't really matter to me. I do plan on paying it off here pretty soon though, just because I want to step up to that next level. But that won't be for a little bit. First, I'm getting some stuff dialed in. Gotta make more money. But yeah, first of all, let's talk to you guys. I bought my car. This is a 2017, so I bought it in 2020 with 25,000 miles. You could tell that the car had been probably from an older person or something like that. The car was definitely not beat up at all. The only thing it had was the OEM bumper that it had some scratches on it. So definitely, probably, maybe an older person had it and they just scraped on it or whatever. Stuff happens. So the car, on the interior, everything itself was maintained very well. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's give it a shot. The only thing I didn't like about mine was that it is sort of the base model, the base 3.0T, and so it didn't have the Bose sound system. It didn't have some of the other luxuries that the Red Sport has or that the Silver Sport has. I think even just the regular 2018 and up now, the base one has like a nicer interior overall, a more updated screen in the center, because this screen is a little bit outdated. And I'll make another video on showing you guys like the top 5 things I hate about my Q50. It's probably going to be a video made after this one. But yeah, so when I bought the car, I had no plans of tuning it at all. I bought it, I was going to modify it to make it look the way that I wanted to. However, over time, I saw Q50s that sort of piqued my interest, and I found out about Racebox and how Racebox, is a really good company, and how they've been making cars, or the Q50 especially, quick. And I was like, I kind of was interested, especially at first when everyone was like, yeah, just get a downpipe and a tune, and that's pretty much it. And I was like, you know what? That's easy power, yeah. So I drove the car until I kind of figured that, the power could use a little bit more. I was never let down by the 3.0T. base model, just the 300 horsepower stock. However, I did want a little bit more. I was getting a little bit tired of it, and so I decided to go with the AMS intakes and then the heat exchanger, just getting ready, getting built up. Everything that I've done with this car ever since the first mod that I did, I always wanted it to be top notch, top quality and stuff. And so that's why I went ahead and did pretty much all the AMS parts, and wanted to take care of the reliability before I actually tuned the car. And then after a little bit, I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and let's do the E30. And so I bought some stuff for the E30. I bought the flex fuel kit as well as the low pressure fuel pump, and I kind of held on to those for a little bit. I'm not really a big like impatient guy that I throw parts on as soon as I get them. I kind of wait like a few months and see how I feel. And I was feeling pretty good, actually. I was like, should I do it? Should I not do it? I had my friend at the time, and he was telling me, bro, just sell it, get something else. And I was like, you know, I already have them. Might as well just go big or go home. The only thing that held me back from just doing the full bolt-on was I didn't want to go full downpipes, because I've heard pretty bad things about that, especially because of the high airflow that comes in. Typically it does blow some turbos, which I didn't want to take care of. I didn't want to deal with that at all, so I decided to just get the lower downpipe. And then after that, I had everything installed on the car except for the tune. And the car, before I tuned it, it was running a little lean, and you know, it was getting too much air because obviously the intakes, the exhaust, and the lower downpipes, all of that was making it get more air than it had fuel. And so it was starting to smoke a little bit. And so in the back, every time we would be going to a meet or something, I would just look in the rear view mirror, and I would always see it was just smoking a lot, and it would smell kind of weird. And so I was scared that one of my turbos was blown. However, I was like, you know what, if something happens, I'll go ahead and take the tune off, and I'll take my parts off and take it to Infinity so they could deal with it. Luckily, after I tuned it, they, you know, fixed everything, and that's kind of when I figured out, oh, I wasn't getting enough fuel, because after that they did whatever they do on their Ecutech files and stuff like that. It worked, and I never noticed it ever again. If you are looking for a little bit more power than stock, this is, you know, this comes with 300 horsepower stock, I think, and that's to the crank. To the wheels, it's probably more like 260, 270 to the wheels. And so right now, I know that a tune on 91 is probably going to be around 420 to the wheels, so it's a huge leap. And then especially if you want to do the E30, I think E30 is probably around like 450 to 470 wheel, depending on, I guess it depends on a lot of things. I am probably going to take my car to the dyno just to see how much it's pushing, because I am really interested in that. So if this video gets 500 likes, I'll go ahead and I'll take it, and we'll see how it does, you know. My guess is probably around 450 to the wheels, and the car itself isn't too heavy. It's definitely, you know, not like Charger or Challenger heavy, like boat size. It's definitely long and boat shaped, but it's not as heavy. And so if you do want that extra power, I would highly recommend tuning it. Probably my top two were getting tuned by AMS and getting tuned by Racebox. So the only reason that I chose Racebox was maybe it was their marketing. They do post a lot of things on Instagram that I was like, you know what, I kind of want to try them out. I want to see how they're doing. And I saw that all of their Q50s were running great, everything like that. I also had another friend who had an RA500 package on his Q60, and he was tuned by AMS and everything. And he told me that AMS doesn't typically do tunes for California, and so he kind of had to convince them to let them tune his car, which is crazy. And I know Racebox at the time, I don't know about now, but at the time they didn't have an issue with me being in California, so I didn't want to deal with any of the headaches and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. And so I bought it. The EcuTech module came in. This little guy right here came in. Super simple. Just plug it into your OBD2 port and just follow the email that they give you. And the process does take a little bit of time, especially if you're doing it remote tune like I did. I'm in California, and so I don't have anywhere else to go. I wasn't trying to go. I think they're located in Texas, so I wasn't gonna try to go to Texas and try to get my car tuned by them like on the dyno and stuff. And so I just had to do some runs and stuff on second and third gear, just testing my car and sending them the files, waiting until the next day I would upload them, send in the file again. And basically I had to do that maybe 4 times or maybe 5 times for 91. And then for E30, it was basically the same thing, just I had to make sure that I had some E in the tank this time. And right now the car runs on E30, pretty much anywhere from E10, which is 91, all the way up to E30, which is a combination of a little bit of E85 and 91. And so after you plug this guy in, you get access to their app. So I'm gonna turn the car on real quick so I can show you guys the app on the phone. This is the EcuTech app, and I just need to wait for it. You hit my car, and you just wait for it to load up. And here you can see all of the different options. I'll go ahead and put it on my lap so you can see it a little bit better. So here I have the info, dashboard, data logging, map switching, boost controller, all this stuff right here. And basically the only thing that I mess with is the map switching. So I have daily, race mode burbles, and eco mode. Typically it's mostly on race mode burbles all of its life. However, data logging, this is basically what the people over at Racebox want you to send over. After you do that, then your car can sound something like this. Sounds crazy. I love it. But yeah, that's only achievable if you tune your Q50. You need downpipes, you need a tune, and that's basically it. But I don't really pop too much. It's just like whenever I want to show off or something like that, I go ahead and do that. But the car makes me happy. I'm happy with the amount of speed that I can get, like the horsepower it's pushing. I'm really happy with everything. And I would highly recommend getting tuned, especially if you're getting tuned by Racebox. I mean, if you want to copy my setup 100%, I have videos describing everything that I've done to the car, all the AMS parts. I would recommend just doing it right the first time instead of being like, oh man, I should have got this, and then get it later on. So just spend the money, and if you're actually gonna try to push for a little bit of power, the Q50 3.0T, especially with an E30 tune, is definitely a sleeper. I mean, I've beat stock 5.0s, stock SS's, 392s, no big deal. I've even beat like lightly modified cars, even a modified and tuned C7 Corvette who was tuned on 91. He wasn't tuned on E85 at the time, but he was tuned on 91. And no, I was close, and I definitely think I would have gapped him too. I've definitely raced full bolt-on E50, what is it called, a B58, the M340i. I've raced one of those. I want to race a Supra. There's a guy named Sean who, me and him, we've been talking for a long time about how he wants to race, He's got a E50 Supra, so he's definitely gonna beat me. However, I do want to kind of show it on camera, because a lot of people talk about how tuning your Q50 3.0T is like crazy, you're gonna make crazy power, and you do make a lot more power than stock. However, you're not gonna be over here beating Hellcats. To be honest, I've never raced a stock Hellcat. I actually did want it. I did want to. Before getting tuned, I would 100% recommend, if you don't have the big brake kit, that is something you need. I put that off until the last thing, probably I think that was the last thing that I did to the car. But I would highly recommend doing it, just because you need the stopping power. Like, I neglected it. I was like, you know what, there's probably not that big of a difference. And the thing too is that I only have them on my front rotors. So here are the Akebono calipers with the drilled and slotted rotors. Hella nice. But yeah, basically I just wanted to show you guys why I would tune my Q50 if I had to do it all over again. Yes, I would tune it. Reliability, obviously reliability does go down a little bit. And I did notice, which was weird, and it might be because my car was running a little bit rich, like I said before. However, after I did tune the car, my fuel economy went up, even though it lives on race mode mostly all of its life. The fuel economy went up, and so I'm guessing it's because, you know, they adjusted whatever they had to. But fuel economy goes up. You have a built-in eco mode. You can actually let them know, and one of your modes could be a kill switch mode. And I kind of want to do that just because it's crazy out here now how they're taking everybody's cars and stuff. Yes, I would tune my Q50 all over again if I had to do it.